They say it takes up to a week just to aggregate all sorts of information on the factory, sheet of paper, MES, Excel files from different departments, and then build a coherent picture. 1 week. Now, with the use of the platform, with all data coming in, we move from 1 week to 1 click.
Alessandro, it's nice to have you here, and thank you for chatting with me.
Thank you, Adam, for having me here.
There is something very special that you do at Tetra Pak that I haven't seen many companies embark on. You're actually serious about AI. And you are building not just point solutions, not just agents that do specific functions. You're actually reorchestrating how the company works so AI can be successful. I have to ask you, why did you choose this particular approach?
Well, it is indeed a peculiar way. Factories are not short of data. They're short of context. And data without context, it gives you the feeling of great power. You're filling up your servers with data. And in fact, you're just having great cost.
Yeah.
Because without context, data are not telling you much. So we figured, why not enabling manufacturers in the food industry to maximize the return on AI tools by layering off a platform for data contextualization and organization.
And I know why you would want to do this, but it must have not been an easy business decision, because how do you prove an ROI on doing something that fundamental?
It's not that hard to prove ROI. Imagine a company taking decisions at every level, every day. If you improve decision making for people from the factory floor up to the C-suite, a company is as successful as many good decisions are taken at every level, right? So enabling better decisions turns out to be a very good ROI measure.
So you're not trying to prove ROI on a use case. You are proving ROI on better decision making as a concept, as a general idea.
That's the vision, of course. Yeah. And then we deploy targeted applications, a bit like in our phones. You have maps and restaurant advisors to take better decisions. So we are deploying targeted applications for better decisions in improving quality, better scheduling, better workforce connection.
But you're one of the very few that do it at scale. That's what I want to understand, how you get to the scale with this.
Yeah, I thought about the word scale,
yeah.
and to me means twofold. The first one is impact. So how do you maximize the impact at macroscopic level, making sure.
What's your microscopic? Like, is that a use case? Is that a particular production line or a machine?
I think it must be on factory KPIs. What we're trying to do is
like metrics at themselves. Okay.
Yes, correct. What we're trying to do is embarking on a full factory journey from a maturity viewpoint. Because if you own a production facility, you're not very interested in optimizing a part of it, but you really want to have a full factory KPI that improves. But the other one is scaling in maturity. Not all factories are the same. Some start with a very elementary digital level, and some are already very advanced. And having a solution that scales with your maturity and with your needs is a winner.
So you have more than one dimension to a concept of scale. I haven't seen that in many places. Usually it's very one-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
So, you choose at your many factories. Yeah, that's what scale means. So many processes.
Right.
But it does change dramatically with your ability to actually execute on it. I bet you have many maturity levels that you are dealing with your customers.
Very much. We move from like single line dairy in the regional type of business to the mega plants that won awards a couple of years back, being lights out factories. So the maturity is extremely vast, and having a solution designed to target all this big spectrum has been a challenge to build.
I would assume it would be quite a challenge. Are you able to solve for it? Are you able to solve it in particular aspects and maybe not in others?
I think scalability from a technological viewpoint is fundamental. So embracing a few coring technologies that allow us to do proof value on a single machine, then extend to a line, then to a department, then full factory, then multi-factories. I think that's super, super important.
So you're still doing stage deployments?
Absolutely.
Where does the platform play into enabling you to do this? Is it helping? Is it simply there?
Also, the platform can scale so that you can interact with a producer who's... The most important thing is that you interact on a business problem to solve. Deploying a technology without a vision from the end user is a recipe to fail. You're just having a hammer, trying to look for a nail to
What's a
beat
good
on.
example of a business problem you're solving for?
Your quality metrics are going the wrong direction. You have consumer claims that going up in the last 6 months.
So those business outcomes, they're coming from customers.
Yeah.
They have a specific problem that they are coming to you with, and then you engage?
Correct. And what the full factory platform allows us to do, compared to the, let's apply AI to this or to that, is that we break the silo. Quality has to do with maintenance of the machines, procedures, material variations, you name it. And these are all verticals that through our platform, Digital Bridge, we can connect. So all of a sudden you can correlate information from batch, operators, scheduling, maintenance cycles, material variations into a coherent picture, and that means adding context to data.
So my mental model, you got to correct me if I'm off here. My mental model is variety of systems of records in manufacturing, MES, SCADA, historians, all of those running and collecting data in very different ways. You're talking about having a single platform. I have never seen a single platform touching all these systems in an efficient way. Is that what you solved already?
Yes, that's the ambition. And again, with the diversity of our partners and customers, some are still on Excel and sheet of paper. Some have multiple systems to integrate. So again,
I would assume no agents on. Oh no, actually, probably you're getting agents on Excel already. That's what we are providing.
Absolutely. But the maturity must be there.
Right.
And what we have seen is that, again, scalability plays a big role.
Yep.
Vision plays a big role. And that's how we do it.
So bring it to life for me. Give me some example of a customer with low maturity. How would you even approach them with a conversation about a platform? Can they even have a dialogue about platform with you?
I would leave the platform outside of the discussion. I would focus on the business challenge they have, and then lay off the steps to solve that challenge. I'll give you an example of a bit of a revolutionary discussion we had with a global player. Issue coming from a consumer filing, this spec was not okay. They say it takes up to a week just to aggregate all sorts of information on the factory, sheet of paper, MES, Excel files from different departments, and then build a coherent picture. 1 week. Now, with the use of the platform, with all data coming in, we move from 1 week to 1 click.
And I'm assuming you also from multiple people doing manual work collecting data into now this system.
Everyone works on the platform, and that's why strategy from the user is so important. Otherwise, these solutions don't stick.
If they were using Excel, what was the maturity of this customer? How do you place them on the spectrum? Somewhere in the middle?
Medium to low.
Because they had both. They have Excel and they had systems.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did that dialogue with them look like when you had this conversation with them? Obviously you didn't start with the platform. How did the conversation start?
I think a lot of these conversations start with a demo, and we show what their life could look like when they grow in the maturity of using digital tools and digital solutions. And the moment we show them that there's usually a date printed on a pack.
Yeah.
You just insert that, you press 2-3 clicks, and it gives you when was it produced, by whom, who was on the shift, what batch, what material have you been using, what line, what events occurred 3 minutes before and 3 minutes after. Then the eyes are opening.
How close are you getting to real time with this solution? Are you minutes away from the reality of what's happening on a factory floor? They were a week away.
Yeah.
So how close are you getting now?
So we have sliced our solution, Factory OS, on 3 layers. We call it automate, orchestrate, and analyze. Automate works in the minutes, in the seconds. It's about how do you run machines effectively, safely, and
So not
providing
yet
data.
autonomous. You're not having actuators actually change things based on the system outcomes. There is still a minute delay.
No. I'm just to give you a scale.
Yeah.
Of course, there's all sort of automatic systems that work in real time. But to give you it's in the weeds of production. It's real time. Then you go orchestrate. That's the days and weeks. It's the production manager or
It's
the
the
shift
planning.
manager planning, seeing trends. That's how you make factory become an organic living entity, kind of. And then we have the analyze. That's the weeks and months. The C-suite looking at trends. How is the cost going on this line, that line, and that enables bigger decisions on what to optimize going forward.
So when I think about your industry, food industry, package industry, there is also the spectrum that goes between the minutes and the weeks, because you can have customers' orders coming in for uniquely packaged goods or weather changes, and those are hours and days.
Absolutely.
That can you accommodate and play in that spectrum, that space as well?
Certainly. I have a good example of that. I remember being on a site that just transformed the business from being a brand owner with a recurrent business with the retailers into a mix of owning the brand but also co-packing. It went really ballistic on the scheduling, because all of a sudden key account managers were, I signed this contract and I need to deliver next week, can we do it or not? And the production was on the whiteboard trying to sketch out what's the best course of action. It's a big decision. Do I say yes to this contract or can I fulfill it? Now with digital solutions, you have all the information you need to say this contract is more profitable than this. I can extend this shift. I can call back people on Saturday morning. All sort of.
It's not only can I do it and make money on it. Yeah? There's so many. Can I do it safely?
Yeah, because the agility required in the current world and going forward, it will only become more and more. Requires decision making to be faster, but also with more variables. So how can we do that without aids from digital solution?
The complexity is going higher, not lower.
Exactly. And data by themselves will not help you. It gives you a feeling of power, but context is what's going to help you.
I still want to go back to what you said before. So now I am in one of those customers. I have a problem. I come and I want to talk to you. Mm-hmm. And you show me a demo. I love the demo because I want all the outcomes you're describing. Yeah. But how do I get started? Like I cannot have all of it at once.
No.
Okay, what do I do first?
We would engage in discussing the top 1, 2, 3 priorities that you have. So we have a pretty decent industry expertise and intimacy with the problems of our customers. So what do you want to tackle? Is it your scheduling is troublesome? Is it your quality?
But I'm trying to connect it to the platform. Like how much of the platform do I need to build in before this becomes real?
Then we will kind of cramp the minimum hardware and software requirements that allow you to tackle that specific business challenge. Yep. And then once you're happy, you see the outcome in the weeks or months or days. If it's a very small thing, like I want to optimize the energy utilization on a mixer. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's a very, very targeted thing. Yep. Oil price going up and you get worried. Well, let's do that, and then say, can we expand to the rest of the line? Can we bring in the quality angle? Then you start playing with 2 domain data. Then we say, well, we need one more server, one more application, and then it grows with you.
So you're still very pragmatic about it. You're not trying to install the platform with outcomes and then build on top of the platform. You're doing platform and you're doing the outcomes at the same time.
Yes.
Okay, so you gave me the mid-level complexity, maturity example. How far did you push it? How far did your best customers able to take advantage of it?
Oh, well, the full-fledged is complete renovation of your factory floor in terms of
So renovation, so no greenfield, brownfield and renovation.
we can do both, of course. If you start from a greenfield, well, everything helps, right? But no, we can of course tackle brownfields. That's very necessary. We have a huge install base. Our customers care about their machines, so we can connect all sort of machine, Tetra Pak, non-Tetra Pak. That's very important because why would you want a system that only works with part of your systems? So renovate all the hardware infrastructure, HMI, SCADA, so they are safe, secure, connected, bring data into the platform, target application, quality, production, asset, energy, dashboarding.
How much intelligence, how much AI in it, how much autonomy? Not lights out factories yet, do you already have?
we need, and it's very important, we still have humans on the fact, this is not to build humans out of the equation, but it's to empower humans taking better decisions. Because the problem, you need to have experience and wisdom on the problems to have that intimacy to solve them. But the complexity, as we said before, is growing so that you need this aid. So lights out are a few years away yet. Maybe they're coming, but not yet.
How far did you push it? What level of automation are customers able to achieve today?
Well, the brightest example I have in mind is a greenfield that we delivered a couple of years back in Asia. I mean, what strikes me is that 10 years ago, the control room of a dairy plant was what I say is like the Harry Potter closet under the stairs, with a couple of guys in white T-shirt and a screen. Now it looks like the Houston control center of NASA. It's like 18-meter screen with all the business figures laid off on these giant screens. Everyone on a white coat. It's amazing. In 10 years, the speed of implementation of digital solutions in the food industry has been incredible.
I heard and I've seen a lot of the statements about the future that are bringing that future way closer than I ever expected it to be. So maybe it's not lights out, but it's getting definitely closer to what, I would imagine as what the future would be.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. And it's so nice to see that you're actually doing it, not just talking about it, that this is becoming real. Thank you for the conversation. It was a real pleasure.
It was a real pleasure for me. Thank you very much, Adam.